Any concerns with the consent agenda?
Judge, we have open.
No
Is
concerns.
there anything under open forum?
No, sir.
No. Go ahead.
The only item we have for you, Judge Commissioners, is the consent agenda. Whenever you have it ready for a motion.
So moved.
Check.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. There's only one item on the agenda.
Yes, there's an item under closed session for the board to consider, sir.
All right, pursuant to 55107-1 and 072, at this time, we proceed to executive session.
So moved.
Second.
All right, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We'll be in executive session for a short while. Thank you.
Item, executive session, or item C, Judge, we will proceed as directed.
All right, nothing else on the agenda?
No, sir.
Need a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Thank you very much, Judge Commissioner.
Thank you. At this time, we want to welcome you this morning to the regular meeting of the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court for today, March 26, 2013. The entire court being present, we have a quorum. Please join us in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Townsend?
Dear Father in heaven, please be with us today. Help us as we work through all the problems and find solutions for the good of all people in the county. Please bless our families, our nation. Please, humbly we pray for rain, for it's absolutely crucial that we have rain soon. Our people who make their living in the fields will not be able to do it because there will be no crops. Please, dear Lord. And we ask all of this in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
All right, any concerns? Well, Mr. Ofracio? Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Judge, I have one agenda item that I would like to be asked that be pulled for discussion. This 12C as in Charlie.
12C.
I need a motion to approve our consent agenda subject to 12C.
So moved.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries. What's the issue with 12C?
The issue with 12C is it's an item for WIC, and WIC grantor agency only allowed for leasing of copy machines up to a certain dollar amount. This item exceeds the amount allowed by $20.16. So I don't know if you can approve it, or I think they were saying the WIC is going to take no action on it. I don't see anyone from WIC. I know purchasing is the one that was handling the item, and I see her coming in.
Is purchasing going to respond, or anybody from WIC?
I see her coming in. Marty?
We're on the consent agenda, Marty, item 12C.
Good morning, I apologize. There is a difference in the total for the leases of the copiers, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Of $20.16. We're asking that it be approved subject to the correction coming down with approval from the grantor. That is what's lacking.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marty.
All right,
The rest of the items will be corrected.
On the consent, no, there's only one item under consent.
all right, sir. Then move on to number 5, open forum. First presenter is Ms. Opal Billman.
Good morning. My name is Opal Billman. Joe and I bought, as in paid money for, our community property and paid the taxes on it for many years. It is owned by 2 people. It is our community property. This court action is not about a divorce settlement, which would have been as easy as pie. A piece of cake. 1 + 1 is 2. Elementary. This court action is about 72 acres of community property with capital improvements worth money that belongs to 2 people, Joe and me. The district judge appointed a beneficiary for our community property, which is worth money, therefore gifting everything we own to somebody we don't even know. I'm saying loud and clear, the judge, the court, the county, the state, my country has no legal authority to do that. In order for them to do it, I am being held in police-enforced false imprisonment, a crime going on 17 years. Foundation of my false imprisonment is a witch hunt involving a Mr. Miller, diamonds, Cadillacs, a hidden stash of cash, a claim from the city of Mission that the city owns 5 acres, a claim from someone named Zuniga that he owns 5 acres, and a woman claiming to own a lot in the middle of our lake. When I managed our park, one of the residents said to me, "When I get my finder's fee, I'm going to buy my kids a house," meaning she was expecting the work of Joe and me to buy her kids a house. Really? My thoughts were, why doesn't she buy her own kids a house or tell them to buy a house for themselves? I have never heard of just standing around thinking someone is going to buy you a house. I am not omnipresent. It's way past time for this witch hunt to be revealed, and not to some secret society, but to the general public, everybody. It is also 17 years for the official oppression and false imprisonment to be stopped. I want my freedom. Thank you very much.
All right. Once again, I just want to remind you that this court has absolutely and totally no jurisdiction to make any decision involving this issue. Next presenter is Fern McClarty.
Good morning. I recently did an open records and asked for all the travel and expenses in all departments for the last 2 years, excluding the Sheriff's Department. How many went from each department, how long they were gone, where they traveled and why they had to travel for their department, and what did the Hidalgo County receive from these trips. Well, to get that information, it would have cost me $2,335.20. So I got a few things that we found out. Out-of-county travel expenses, meals, hotel parking and things was $751,169.48. And registration fees were $397,868.61. When people travel out, I understand that the county is receiving something, but we never find out what we've got from each one of these trips. I know that a lot of them get certification, get more, they get a step up in their pay with the county, but so often they go to these, they get that certification, and then they either move out from that department to the county, which hopefully we're still getting a little bit of something for our money, or they leave the county altogether as soon as they get that. So we'd like to ask if there's any way that the county could have, if we're going to pay for it, the taxpayers are going to pay for their certifications and things, that they at least stay with the county for 2 or 3 years or something, that we can be sure that we're not helping them out to leave and go in the private sector when it's the taxpayers' money. And again, like I say, that was for the registration fee, almost $400,000, and for the travel, $751,169.48. Just a little steep, I think, but whatever you think. Thank you.
All right, next item, number 6A. Anybody here to talk on 6A? Are you looking for Rick?
Yes, sir, Judge. I believe Mr. Alvin is...
Rick, do you want to join us? Where is he? Yeah.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Rick Alvarez
Good
with the
morning,
County
Rick.
Judge's Office. This is our report on the bills before the legislature in the interest of Hidalgo. I'm going to start off with House Bill 2423 by Martinez relating to the creation of the Regional Transit Authority. House Bill 369 by Martinez also relates to the transportation of certain mental health patients. What this bill does or will do, it will prioritize the method of transportation to an appropriate mental health facility for a person apprehended by the county. Senate Bill 1426 by Hinojosa relates to the appointment of the county auditor. Senate Bill 170 by West relates to the building code standards for new residential construction in the unincorporated areas of the county. We're also looking at House Bill 827 by King. It relates to an agreement between DPS and the county clerk for the provision of renewal and duplicate driver's license and other identification certificate services in certain counties. There's also another bill which is House Bill 1515 by McClendon. It relates to the agreement also between DPS and the county and the tax assessor. This differs from the other bill because this relates to the tax assessor, the other one relates to the county clerk. Senate Bill 969 by West relating to the electronic and admissibility of certain statements made by an accused as a result of custodial interrogation. I forwarded this to the Sheriff's Office for his review. It may have a fiscal impact on him. These are all the bills I have for this week. If you have any questions, I can answer them or try to. If not, this concludes my presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
At this time, I've been advised that Mr. Mario Jorge is in the audience. Good morning, Mario. And I believe you're here on item number 20A.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. I appreciate the opportunity. Commissioner Joseph Palacios had asked me to come brief the court on some developments, very positive developments for our district and our region. So I want to take that opportunity if you allow me. Want to give you a quick rundown. About a month ago, I attended a meeting in Austin with State Representative Armando Martinez, who is our Vice Chair for Transportation Committee in this legislative session, and with our Chairman of the Commission, Ted Houghton. And at that meeting, we reviewed, they asked me to provide a kind of a status of all of our transportation projects in Hidalgo County, talk about some of the needs that we have in transportation here in the county, as well as talk about the RMA projects and the loop in general and what status various segments are. After that, I was asked to provide a recommendation for a project that we could move forward, which we could actually try to get it under construction, somewhere in the $60 to $80 million range. So the project that we have been identifying that made a lot of sense for us is to move on the segment D of the loop, which is it's essentially the segment from US 83 north and then west back to 281. We felt like that's a critical element of the loop that we can start working on. And what we had identified as a scope for that project initially for us is to come in and build the frontage roads, essentially build a 4-lane divided section, which would be the future frontage roads from 83 to 1925, which is Montecristo. Felt like that's a good connectivity point. The reason for, I think, some of the benefits that we'll gain out of that particular segment is we probably will see a little bit of relief on the interchange there in FAR on 83 and 281 with that other route. It also sets up the corridor for the future as the traffic demands increases, that the middle portion, the expressway then can be completed. So it's a segmental approach to building that piece. And again, our focus has always been on, as we develop the loop, a loop of that nature will transform the county in the years to come. So it's real critical that we take every opportunity to get these segments in place. With this project, and the commission will be considering the funding for this project at this week's commission meeting in Austin. Again, total cost of about $85 million for the frontage roads, and we'll have all the right-of-way purchase for that. But if that goes through, we'll now have 4 segments of the loop under some sort of project development. The segment that goes from the Far Bridge West to Anzalduas is funded for construction through a partnership between TxDOT and the RMA and Commissioner's Court with the vehicle registration fees. And so that project is moving forward to construction sometime in 2015. The segment then from the Far Bridge east and north to 83, which is called the IBTC, that project has already significant project development been done, schematics, some environmental work. So that's a project that the RMA can focus on to move forward to get ready for construction. And then the segment D, which is now going to be called State Highway 68, from 83 to Monte Cristo, we will take the lead and put that project under development and construct those frontage roads. The only segment missing now is the one on the west side from 83 back on north and west to 281, and the RMA is working on a potential partnership with a private developer on that project. So all in all, it looks like we're moving very forward very well with all segments. We'll do our part with this project, State Highway 68. So we're excited about it. Hopefully, the commission will take the action on Thursday, which will initiate for us the project development. So that was really the update I wanted to provide you all. And I want to thank the commission and the court for working with me on various projects that we have in every one of y'all's precincts. It's critical that we form partnerships. A project like this, Segment D, State Highway 68, although we may take the lead on the project and we may have the bulk of the construction funding, it's going to require significant coordination with both Commissioners Palacios and Cuellar and the other Commissioner Palacios, Tito Palacios, because of the drainage and because of the other connectivity points that we gotta have. So I think it's the start of hopefully a momentum for the rest of the loop and also for connecting roads.
First and foremost, I want to thank you, Mario. Obviously, for the taxpayer, in the past, we've leveraged the vehicle tax, but we've been major beneficiaries when it comes down to funding coming down from the state with the La Jolla bypass and now with Segment D.
Right.
We're major beneficiaries. We want to thank you, your office, for advocating such a project that's really going to help that area. Anytime we're ever able to leverage funds from the state, it's just an awesome thing. There's a lot of good things that are going out. Most of our projects you've advocated heavily on. I see Andrew Cannon in the background as well. He's helped us with several other alignments of some other roadways for expansion, but I just want to personally thank you for that, and the commission as well, Armando Mando Martinez, for working with you on finding those funds. In the near future, I know we've talked about coordinating efforts on drainage and seeing where else we can partner up, and I know it's a wave of the future, finding ways on how we can bridge the gaps between other governments to figure out how we're going to fully fund these projects, and I think that we're doing a good job. These are great examples of projects that are becoming the wave of the future, and something that the taxpayers can have a sigh of relief that it's not all done on county dollars. So
Right.
I just want to personally thank you for your participation, your help with it.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner.
Our county received 85, was it?
Yeah,
85 million?
$85 million is, well, the commission meets Thursday, so they'll act on that.
And
but it's
the
$85
road, Mario,
million.
is going to be from Expressway 83 near in the approximate area of Valverde Road,
Yes, sir.
going up north. But Armando had told me it was going to go all the way up to 1285 or...
Well, the construction limits will be from US 83 to FM 1925, which is Monte Cristo Road. We will clear the environmental all the way back to 281 to have that entire corridor.
But is it going to go to 1285, as Armando had said?
I'm sorry?
What's the name of that number of that other road,
Oh,
Bobby?
FM 1925 is Monte Cristo. That's where the construction limits will be. From Montecristo north and west back to 281, we'll clear the environmental, but we won't proceed to construction just yet.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Right. The big thing that I want to point out to the court, and I think this is really critical, and you know, Andrew's here with me, and it's really important that we continue these partnerships, because even with this segment in place, this segment of the loop, State Highway 68, if you look at a map, you can see where 83, 107, and Montecristo are the three east-west connectors. But there's a huge gap between, and there's not any other east-west major arterials that can funnel traffic to the loop. And so I think the development of projects like Nolana, which Commissioner Palacios has been working with us and the MPO on, Owasa, which the City of FAR and Commissioner Palacios has also been working on, those projects I think are going to be critical to continue the development, to have those arterials connected back from 281 all the way to State Highway 68 or Segment D. That loop, in order to really be functional for the valley, we need the connectivity. So that's why I felt like this project, us taking the lead and getting this project kick-started and under construction, I think will bring a lot more attention to the east-west arterials that we got to work on in the county. So again, it's an exciting project, and it's one that we're looking forward to working with you all on, and it touches pretty much every segment of the county.
Judge, if I may.
Go ahead, sir.
Mario, this includes the right-of-way, which is what, 350?
Yes, sir. Our intent is to we'll clear the entire right-of-way that will be needed for a future expressway system, even though we're going to build the frontage roads initially. So it'll be a minimum of 300 feet, maybe a little more at the intersections to accommodate any future interchanges.
But the clearance on the environmental is all the way north.
Right. Our intent is to clear the environmental all the way back. I think that's important to allow that corridor to be put in place. And let me add something else that we talked about partnership, and there's no better example than the loop. The loop, if you look at the county, took the lead several years ago and actually did the original route and feasibility study that was necessary. Then the RMA took it a step further and actually went in and developed schematics, engineering schematics for all these segments. And now we're coming in and taking that from that point forward to finishing the environmental and buying the right of way and putting a portion on the ground. So that's how these projects can move forward. And I really thank the county for really having the vision years ago to get this project going.
Also, it's important to note that wherever you're going to be discharged on it, especially segment D for Monte Cristo, the county's been working on that segment. I know we're expanding from Kenyon all the way down to Alamo Road, and we're looking at pushing it where segment D is going to be connecting. So again, a great role of partnership.
And that's a critical point in every project that we work with, and working with the drainage district hand in hand. If we have a project that we're building a highway, we got to drain it. And we can definitely team up with drainage plans that you already have in place, and be able to accelerate those and get them in place, not just for our highway project, but also for the general area. And so it's a big positive. So again, the 85 million. I think it's going to bring a lot more than that to the region as we move forward with the projects and other connecting projects. So I want to thank you all for that.
Okay. We also need to publicly thank State Representative Armando Martinez for his leadership. He got himself appointed Vice Chair of the Transportation Committee, and we now have someone on the table in that committee, and as a result of him being there, that's really the main reason we were able to get these dollars, so we need to thank him.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you, Mario.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Mario.
Appreciate it.
Item 10A and 10B, Mr. Paul Villarreal.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners, Mr. Guerra. Joe Fracio. I believe on item A, no action on that. We're requesting approval for a PO from the purchasing, so we'll bring it back. And our next one is the resolution honoring Elvia de la Rosa.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. We have someone special in the audience. She is retiring from the tax office after many years of service. So I'd like to ask her to come up, Ms. Elvia de la Rosa. And she's actually joined today by her sister, Ms. Olga de la Rosa. And we would also like to have all of the tax office staff that is here in attendance today to celebrate this momentous occasion. If you can join us up here at the podium. And if I may read the resolution. Whereas Ms. Elvia de la Rosa was born and raised in Edinburgh, Texas, and whereas Ms. Elvia de la Rosa graduated from Edinburgh High School in 1968, and whereas Ms. de la Rosa began working at the Hidalgo County Tax Office as a mineral and utilities records clerk at the age of 27 on March 3, 1975, for the Honorable Ciro Trevino, and whereas Ms. de la Rosa received the designation of Registered Texas Collector from the Board of Tax Professional Examiners on March the 1st, 1988, and whereas Ms. de la Rosa was promoted to the position of Tax Assessing Supervisor for the Hidalgo County Tax Office in July 1999 under the Honorable Armando Barrera, Jr., and whereas Ms. de la Rosa implemented various technological innovations and procedures that increased the capacity and efficiency of the Hidalgo County Tax Office. And whereas Ms. de la Rosa has made a decision to retire after 38 years of service to Hidalgo County and has exhibited outstanding performances on her professional responsibilities with integrity, dedication, and commitment as tax assessing manager of Hidalgo County Tax Office. Now therefore be it resolved that with utmost appreciation for her outstanding commitment to serve the residents of our great county of Hidalgo, the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court hereby recognizes and congratulates Ms. Elvia de la Rosa and furthermore acknowledges her outstanding dedication and professional contributions to the Hidalgo County Tax Office, and on this day wishes her long, healthy, and fruitful retirement. Signed and approved this 15th day of March 2013.
So approval.
Second. Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries unanimously.
I want to thank Ms. de la Rosa for her accomplishments and for her service to our Hidalgo County and our taxpayers. When I started back in '85, she had been there already 11 years, so she did work for me for 2.5 months. I did try to keep her, but she says, no, I'm ready to retire, so congratulations, Ms. de la Rosa, and to you and your family.
Morning. I want to give my special thanks to Ciro Trevino, who hired me back in March of 1975, and to Armando Barrera, who kept me on the payroll, and of course now Paul Villarreal, who is a current tax assessor collector. Thank you, everybody, and it was an honor and pleasure serving the citizens of Hidalgo County for 38 years, and thanks again, and may God bless you. Thank you.
Of course, you can see everybody behind us. That's our staff that's worked for her for many years, so we're very proud of her, and we're there and committed to continue the public services to our county. Thank you.
Yeah. You want to put him?
Come on, lady.
Yeah. All right. I guess you're part of the family. Yeah, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations. Ms. de la Rosa, good luck. Thank you very much for all the years of service. All right, item 6B.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Jaime Longoria with the County Judge's Office. Item 6B is discussion and action on the request by the Texas Municipal Police Association for the waiving of the $5 administrative fee for Hidalgo County Adult Probation Association and consideration of payroll deduction for the Texas Police Trust Insurance. Judge, to give you a little background on this particular item, Commissioners, is Ms. Norma Garcia, our County Treasurer.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning.
I believe you all have the handout that has the administrative fees that we charge for payroll deduction per pay period. If you notice on the bottom of the form, it says that it's per statute, Local Government Code 155.001. That indicates that an administrative fee needs to be charged. And then there's section 155.003 that says that public funds may not be used for administrative costs of making deductions except for the deduction relating to the payment of parking fees in a county-owned facility. And then section B says the credit union, labor union, or employees association for whose benefit a deduction is made shall pay any administrative costs for making the deduction. The Commissioners' Court shall determine the amount of the administrative costs. Back in 1989, it was determined by Commissioners' Court that the cost would be what you have in front of you, which actually equates to 19 cents per pay period. 19 cents, rounded off to 20 cents times the 26 pay periods, and that's why the $5 fee. If you notice, it is a graduating schedule so that depending on which pay period they sign up during is what they are charged.
$5 per year?
I'm sorry, somebody asked something?
$5 per year per employee?
Yes, sir.
Now, Judge, Commissioners, the genesis of this is we were approached by Mr. Mike Zellers, Rudy Salinas, and Mari Quintanilla from the three organizations, and they're here to speak. They're here to speak on this particular topic. We at the Judge's Office were approached about the waiving of these fees, and they wanted to present something to the court.
Well, we met with Norma, and at that time, I think the issue was, the recommendation was going to be to waive it, but it appears the law doesn't allow us.
The law doesn't allow it, Judge, and it depends on what you all decide you want to do. I mean, I'm going to do what you all determine, but I don't want to go against the statutes.
Who wants to make a statement in behalf of the employees?
What is your last name?
Mike Zellers.
Mike Zellers.
Good morning, Judge, County Commissioners.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for allowing us to speak to you this morning. The reason we're here, we're just asking for the Commissioners' Court to waive this administrative fee. Our associations are not-for-profit employee associations. Any extra money that they keep, they get involved in charitable organizations in our community. They sponsor Little League baseball teams. They get involved in the Boys and Girls Club, 5K runs, cancer runs. So any relief that you can give them is just more money that they can use for these charitable organizations. I will also like to give you information that we have payroll deductions with other government entities in the valley. San Benito, the city of Weslaco, the city of Edinburgh, McAllen, and Mission. And Hidalgo County is the only government entity that actually charges us an administrative fee. Most of the government agencies look at the statute, and if the employee that's actually entering the information for the payroll deduction is spending a minute doing that or a minute doing something else, they still get paid by the hour, so there's no additional cost to the taxpayers. And also, if the association doesn't incur or doesn't gain any new membership during that year or lose any membership, there's actually no work that's done additionally on the payroll deduction, but the associations are still being charged this fee. If they have 100 members, then they're paying $500 a year for no additional work actually being done. So for those reasons, we're asking if you can waive it or at least reduce it.
I don't, Mike, it doesn't look like we have any discretion. The only discretion we have is establishing the amount of the administrative cost of the fee.
Well, if there's an amount for the initial setup, we can pay that, but if there's no additional work being done during that year, it doesn't seem that the county's incurring any additional administrative costs. So perhaps you can consider waiving that.
See, there's a difference between what cities can do and what counties can do. And Steve, how do you read this?
I think, Judge, you stated correctly. At 155.003A says public funds may not be used to pay the administrative costs. Now, some of the administrative costs may not just be people. It could be the purchase of the software program that computes these deductions. It could be the computer time. And also, I don't know enough about Norma's operation, but it could be people monitoring the computer time, monitoring the screens, whatever. So there's got to be some administrative cost. The question is how much.
Right.
Well, the county does charge us a setup fee for that, and we pay that, but then it's the reoccurring fee that we have to pay every year, $5 per member per year, even though there's no additional work done to keep the employees on payroll deduction.
Norma, is our fee in line with what the work we do with the cost?
Yes, it is. As a
administrative
matter of
cost?
fact, a few years ago, I had thought of maybe raising it because, like I mentioned, it's 19 cents per pay period, and we only charge those that are actually being deducted. We don't just charge if they say 500 members and they lose membership and then we continue charging. No, we only charge for those that are being deducted. So in their case, they're the first ones on that list. Adult Probation Association, 46 members, it's $230. If there were 100 members, then we would charge for that.
Right. Any questions from the court?
I would recommend that you keep it the way we have it, or we're going to open the door to the other associations that we also charge administrative fees for.
Well, if we're going to do it for one, we're going to do it for all. If we're going to waive it for one, it's going to be waived for all.
That's correct.
The issue, though, is can we legally do it?
Well, you heard
And
from
that's
Steve
what
Crane.
Steve is saying, that he doesn't think we can legally do it based on that language he read.
It is a very minimal fee, Judge. It's 19 cents per pay period.
I don't believe you have discretion, Judge, to do that.
Well,
Based on my reading of the statute.
Mr. Ofracio, I agree with you.
Okay.
The statute uses language like shall and will not. And I don't think we could violate that particular section. But if any commissioner feels otherwise, at this time, I would entertain any kind of motion.
The only discretion is the amount of the fee that's imposed.
Yes. According to this, Commissioner, the statute.
And I understand that what they do is good work and what they try to do with the community, and I understand all that. I'm only trying to comply with the statute. That's all. I'm not against any of them or what they
How
do.
far can the court go and still be in compliance?
The only question, the only discretion, Commissioner, you stated correctly, the only discretion you have is the amount of the fee. But the amount of the fee has to be what the administrative costs are for doing the deduction. And that I have to rely on Norma as to what her office expends, and it's not just on labor. It would also, I think, encompass computer time, computer software, all that. We'd have to look at the entire amount that the county is in, the entire expense the county is incurring to make these deductions.
So you're saying the potential chance, if it is more labor intensive, utilizing more software, there's a potential chance it could go up?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If somebody went down and cost accounted for all the computer time, software, computer software, labor, and any other things that Norma's office does, and had that exact figure, then we could compare it to what she's charging. but I think 19 cents in today's economy, and this is, my legal hat's not on, but 19 cents in today's economy is not a lot of money.
But we're complying with the statute by
But
doing
you're
that.
complying with the statute,
Yes.
so I'm saying at some point, Norma, you may want to have somebody go in there and figure out what is the actual cost to the county of doing this.
I think so, Judge. That'd be the question, is that $5 sufficient to cover all administrative costs?
Well, like I said, it hasn't been raised or increased actually since 1989. That's the figure that was established back then, and that's what we've abided by.
And that's probably where we should leave it at this point. I don't know if you want to go start looking around as to what it really costs.
I think we're being more than fair
Leaving it where it's at?
to leave it where it's at.
I'm for approve it. I'm approval just to leave it where it's at. That's my motion.
I think the action was to waive it, no?
No, leaving it where it's at. All right, those in favor of the motion, which will allow the fee to remain at $5, the way it presently is, those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry, we probably would have considered it, but for the law not allowing us to be able to do so.
Thank you, Judge. We tried anyway to give the associations a little relief. I think there's just one other item on here. We're requesting a payroll deduction slot for a short-term disability insurance that we want to make
Wait a minute,
available.
what item are you looking at?
It's the same one. They put two together.
Yeah, there's two parts, Judge. The payroll deduction for the Texas Police Trust Insurance.
Oh, okay.
This is a short-term disability insurance. The Texas Police Trust was established in 1981, and it's available to law enforcement statewide. The difference with this short-term disability insurance and the other short-term disability insurances that are offered through government entities is that this actually covers employees if they get hurt on duty too. And most law enforcement, they work secondary jobs and moonlight, work in security, so if they get hurt on the job, they make their normal salary, but they lose all the overtime and stuff in this.
But now, this is voluntary insurance. The employees decide if they want to pay for it?
Yes, sir.
And there's no county money involved. Am I correct?
Correct. There's no additional cost to the county at all.
No, this is a different group. But it's not costing us any money.
Payroll deduction for an entity that is not county has to be charged the administrative fee. That's it. And that's what we've been doing all these years.
No, we're not talking about the fee now. We're talking about.
No, but the deduction that he wants still involves an administrative cost.
What do you think that cost should be?
What you just voted on.
Ma'am?
The one that you just voted on?
Leave it the way it is. The $5 will cover what we have in this.
Yes. Now, if you decide that, because you voted already, right, to keep it the way it is?
Yes.
So whatever the deduction is, that's the cost that will attach.
But we want you to add, at least I feel that the consensus is going to be that we want you to add the deduction for this insurance. That the
Okay.
employees buy on their own and pay with their own money.
But Judge, that would also require another administrative fee for that.
I mean, how many could there possibly be?
There's only one item on the agenda, which is 6B. They should have taken it all together.
You think that the item was to
The
waive
item
it?
was to waive the fee, right?
Yes.
But now, logically, if you're creating another type of deduction, that is another administrative cost.
That should be no action on that.
No, I think you can improve the deduction, but it would be at a $5 charge.
Leave it the way it is.
You want to charge another $5 then?
No, the same $5 will take care of everything.
Yeah, the same $5 should take care of the whole thing.
That's fine with me, if that's what you want.
Yeah,
I will abide by whatever the court decides. If that's what you want, that's what we'll do.
I mean,
But
this is-
I just didn't want to waive the entire administrative fee.
All right, we did not. I would entertain a motion to proceed to allow payroll deduction for the Texas Police Trust Insurance by those employees that voluntarily on their own, with their own dollars, buy this insurance.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. All right, Thank you. On item C,
Judge Commissioners, item 6C is a resolution honoring La Unión del Pueblo Entero. And at this time, we have members in the audience from Lupe. I would like to ask Ms. Juanita Valdez Cox to come up, in addition with all of the members of the organization. We have a video to show first, and then we are going to read the resolution.
My name is Juanita Valdez Cox, and I am the director of an organization called La Unión del Pueblo Entero, or Lupe. Lupe is a nonprofit organization. It's a membership organization that was founded by Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta. This organization was founded back in 1989 in California. Lupe came to Texas in 2003. This is our 10th year anniversary. Lupe deals with working with people in the colonias, with people in the community, with people in the cities, people in the county about the different issues that have an impact in their life. The Cesar Chavez March is April the 6th. We will be celebrating the 10th anniversary of the march here in South Texas. This year, the focus again is on comprehensive immigration reform. So we really are hoping that you could join us.
My name is Marta Sanchez, and I'm the coordinator for the organizing work and here in La Unión del Pueblo Entero. Well, I feel that the leadership development in Lupe is the only way to create the change that the people need to create. This is how we work with the people that live in the colonias who have not maybe have a formal education, and allow them to practice their skills and enhance their skills on public speaking, on talking to legislators, the ability to lead meetings, and the ability to get to know the information that sometimes is not available for people in the colonias. We have grown, in these 10 years, we have grown to have a couple of hundred leaders that have been coming through our leadership training. We have created the Council of Leaders in here in Lupe who guide us through this organization on what are the issues that they want us to follow.
My name is Anabel Salamanca, and I'm the youth coordinator with La Unión del Pueblo Entero. Creating young leaders with Lupe is very important because it allows the organization to remain moving and growing at a faster pace than it would if it didn't have the young minds and spirits of young people. A very good example that I can think of right now is where they meet every Friday, or every other Friday, I should say, to generate and make decisions as to what's going to happen the day of the march.
Hello, my name is Tania Chavez, and I'm a social service provider here at La Unión del Pueblo Entero. Some of the services that Lupe provide, we deal a lot with the immigration, income taxes, birth certificate translations, and any other type of referral services. Lupe is an organization, it's one kind of organization in the community. Once you become a member, you become part of an elite group who's uniquely catered to. We're able to provide services that other offices are not willing to. Well, with the youth that are coming in to get deferred action and to ask about that information, anything one of the things that I tell them is that if you don't speak for yourself, no one's going to be able to do that for you.
For any information on our organization, Lupe, and the services that it offers, you can call us at the different numbers that you will see on the screen. So join us for the Cesar Chavez March, April the 6th at 10 a.m. here in San Juan.
all right, go ahead.
So we are here today to recognize Lupe for their 10th anniversary, and Ms. Juanita Valdez Cox, after I read the resolution, will say a few words in regard to the march. And the resolution reads, whereas the United Farm Workers of America served the low-income farm worker community of South Texas from 1966 until 2002, and whereas La Unión del Pueblo Entero, also known as Lupe, was established by Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta in California to serve the low-income Latino community in 1989, and whereas La Unión del Pueblo Entero assumed responsibility for all UFW operations and staff in Texas in January 2003, and whereas La Unión del Pueblo Entero has a built-in membership base of more than 7,000 dues-paying members in South Texas in that time, and whereas the members of Lupe have become effective advocates for solutions to the issues that impact the lives of Colonia residents, like the absence of streetlights and the lack of stormwater drainage, and whereas La Unión del Pueblo Entero works tirelessly to advance the common good for all county residents through active civic participation. Now therefore be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court hereby recognizes the valuable contributions of La Unión del Pueblo Entero to improving the quality of life for all residents of Hidalgo County, and commends the members and staff of La Unión del Pueblo Entero for their dedication to inclusion of all voices in the discussion of policy matters that affect the lives of local residents. Dated this 26th day of March, 2013.
Move for approval. Those in favor of the motion as made and seconded indicate by saying aye. 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 Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, and I'd like to introduce Ms. Juanita Valdez Cox.
Good morning. Good morning, County Judge and Commissioners. On behalf of the over 7,000 dues-paying members of La Unión del Pueblo Entero, we thank you for your vote in recognition of La Unión del Pueblo Entero and its work. As the resolution stated, for many years, the leadership of Lupe has been involved in solving the issues of this county. We care about our colonias. We care about the residents of these colonias. That's why the leadership works so hard. If it's street lights, if it's the national issues like immigration reform, working on all of those issues is very important for this leadership. And so on behalf of the members and the staff, we thank you for your vote today. We also would like to invite you to our headquarters in San Juan on Thursday at 2 o'clock. The Congressman Vela and Hinojosa will be talking about the budget cuts and the impacts that it's going to have on Hidalgo County residents. So if you're available, we would invite you. We're at the corner of Cesar Chavez and Business 83. Both congressmen will be there to, like I said, to discuss those budget cuts, which are of tremendous interest to Colonia and Hidalgo County residents. Thank you. Sure.
Juanita, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Item D. 6D is David.
Item 6D, authorization for the county judge to sign a letter of modification to the grant period of performance to the United States Department of Energy regarding the Energy Efficiency Block Grant Project. Judge Commissioners, we're requesting an additional 90-day extension to finish expending some money that was left over from the grant. It's approximately $20,000. It's a very small portion of the $3.4 million grant we received.
So moved.
Yes, I need action to extend.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye. 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 Motion carries.
Item 6E, it's a presentation by Hidalgo County MPO on bicycle safety, safe passing awareness. We have Mr. Andrew Cannon from the MPO to give a presentation.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning, Andrew.
Morning. How are you, gentlemen? As well as the task that you gentlemen all know that I have of trying to figure out our transportation system over the next 25 years and how to pay for it, the staff at the MPO, through the guidance of our policy committee, which Commissioner Flores sits on and gives us guidance, also tries to do our fair amount of public outreach and education. A part of that is a public service announcement campaign that we've kicked off on safe cycling and try to promote some awareness out there in the area. As you may have heard, there was an incident in Mercedes this morning where a cyclist was struck by a vehicle on the frontage road. I don't know the outcome of that, but it looked like a bad scene. So the city of Edinburg worked with us, and we really appreciate that. They produced for us, and Tim Smith starred in, if you will, a video for us for part of our outreach. The City of Edinburg, City of FAR have a safe passing ordinance on file now. The City of McAllen is working on one, and I just visited with Mayor Salinas last night, and the City of Mission wants to consider looking at that. So if the court will oblige me, I have two videos. They total about 1 minute and 15 seconds. One video, which is queued up now, is the video which we're showing in movie theaters at this time. It's been running for about 6 or 7 months. It's a 15-second bit, and then after that is the PSA with Tim Smith that I'd like to show the court as well, if that's okay.
Remember, everyone can use the roadways. Give 3 feet between motor vehicles and pedestrians. Share the road.
That's just our simple advertisement that we have in the theater saying if you're walking along the road, riding or jogging, try to give those individuals some space. Don't cramp them in. You're in a vehicle. You've got a 2,000-pound metal cage around you. And this is the advertisement that City of Edinburg helped us with.
I'm meteorologist Tim Smith. When I'm not working on the forecast, you can often find me out here on my bicycle because after all, the Valley's got some of the best weather in the country for cycling, but every year, too many cyclists are injured or killed. Please prevent accidents by keeping the following rules in mind. If you're a driver, share the road by providing at least 3 feet of safe passing distance between your car and cyclists. In some cities, it's the law. If you're a cyclist like me, ride in the same direction as traffic and wear your helmet and reflective gear. Cyclists, remember all road rules and traffic signals apply to you just as they do to cars. Whether you're behind the wheel of a car or on your bike, the same rules apply to everyone. So let's look out for each other under these sunny skies. Drive safe, bike safe, and arrive alive.
So what I'm asking this morning is any assistance that the court and the county commissioners be willing to give. I have a copy of the PSAs on CD, maybe show them in your office or so forth, just to help us promote this a little bit so we can make more awareness out there in our community and let people know that cyclists have to follow the same rules, but at the same time, please maybe make it a little safer for those that want to use our roadways for recreational and exercise purposes as well.
Very good, sir.
And I will say as a caveat, Judge, that I will be at Austin on Thursday morning to pass along our thanks to Commissioner Houghton and to the Executive Director Phil Wilson for the $85 million coming down on the State Highway 68. I'll be up there this Thursday morning to address that as well.
That's good.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Put that on the website, Karina.
Yes, sir. We'll share it on our social media as well. Item 6F is requesting permission by CASA of Hidalgo County to use the open forum area of the courthouse for the candlelight vigil to be held on April 3rd, 2013, including the posting of banner and wooden cross to represent children who lost their lives. This item is a regular annual item that we have, and I have members from CASA here in the court audience I would like to introduce. We have Ms. Diana Almaguer, who's a director, and Ms. Rebecca Peña, who's a volunteer coordinator at CASA, which is Court Appointed Special Advocates for Hidalgo County. They can come join me at the podium. We also have Ms. Sandra Rodriguez, who's the CPS director, and she is actually going to be reading item 2 on the agenda item, which is approval of a proclamation recognizing the month of April as National Child Abuse Prevention Month. But if we may have action on item 1, which is requesting the use of the open forum area for the candlelight vigil.
Move for approval on 1 and 2.
Second. Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. That was just the 1 and 2.
You want to say a few words?
Well, do you require insurance on this company?
I'm sorry, Mr. Ufraso?
Do you require insurance coverage?
Mr. Ufraso, I'll be working with Karina on that paperwork. Everything will be in order. All the procedures will be followed.
Yeah. So the question is yes or no?
I'm sorry?
You require insurance or no?
I have to look at this organization specifically.
Okay, go ahead.
Good morning, Judge Ramon and Commissioners. Thank you for allowing us to be here today to proclaim the month of April as Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month. On behalf of our board, directors, staff, advocates, and the children we service, I would like to thank you for your continued support and funding for our CASA of Hidalgo County program. You have been instrumental in ensuring CASA continues to speak for the best interest of abused and neglected children in Hidalgo County. With me, I have Sandra Rodriguez, Program Director for CPS. I have CPS supervisors and CPS staff that are here as well who play such an important role in preventing abuse and neglect. I would also like to recognize other organizations that were not here, but they work with us closely, such as the Child Protection Court, Estrella's House, Lutheran Social Services, A World for Children, Spalding for Children, Child Welfare Board, Mujeres Unidas, McAllen, and Edinburgh Rainbow Rooms. I would also like to invite you to our candlelight vigil, which is being held next Wednesday from 6:30. We're starting our march from Casa Hidalgo County down 1001 South 10th, and we are walking towards the courthouse. At the courthouse, that's where we'll have our remembrance. And this year, we are very happy that all of the local police departments so far, Sheriff's Department, DPS, McAllen, Mission, San Juan, FAR, and other police departments are going to be as service to us, and they're going to basically turn on their siren at the end. Normally, we would have the fire department, but this year we wanted to include all the agencies because child abuse is happening in every city in this county. So it should be a great event, and we welcome your presence there next Wednesday. At this time, I would like to introduce Sandra Rodriguez, who will be reading our proclamation. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Whereas 64,366 victims of child abuse and neglect were confirmed in Texas in fiscal year 2012, and whereas in Hidalgo County, Child Protective Services had 7,167 investigations of child abuse and neglect in the fiscal year 2012, and whereas of those cases investigated for abuse and neglect, a total of 2,685 were confirmed as victims of child abuse and neglect, whereas one child fatality was a result of child abuse and neglect, and whereas child abuse prevention is a community responsibility, and finding solutions depends on involvement among all people, and whereas communities must make every effort to promote programs that benefit children and their families, and whereas effective child abuse programs succeed because of partnerships among agencies, schools, religious organizations, law enforcement agencies, and the business community, and whereas everyone in the community should become more aware of child abuse prevention and consider helping parents raise their children in a safe, nurturing environment. We respectfully request that the Commissioners Court of Hidalgo County do hereby proclaim the month of April 2013 to be Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month in Hidalgo County. And we ask that you urge all your citizens to work together to help reduce child abuse and neglect significantly in the years to come.
Yeah, we already approved it. We've already took action and approved it unanimously. How do we do this?
We can take a picture now. No, we can take a picture.
Okay.
It's a big group, so if you want to, I know you can do that.
Thank you for what you do. Thank you. We need to sign that proclamation. I don't know if you want to. Okay. Okay. All right, item G. Joe, you're up.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning, Jose.
So I've come today to give you another status update on our work on trying to get the census to develop accurate figures from the census for use in funding and other matters. As of this point, our gathering of data by the county staff has reached 17,000 missed addresses, we believe to be missed addresses, that we have submitted to the Bureau of the Census. As I've mentioned before in other presentations, what we have is a comprehensive strategy on this that involves looking at potential legal action, but also attempting to convince the Census Bureau through different programs that they have that the numbers are higher for Hidalgo County than initially reported. This is part of that process. The methodology that we've employed is the methodology that is used by the census, with one exception, of course. We do not do a complete census. That would cost millions and millions of dollars. But in terms of the statistical methodologies that the census uses for completing its census, our system is the same as the census has used. So that is one part of our strategy, is submitting this data to the Bureau of the Census and then getting their response. And we have an initial response from the Bureau of the Census that, quite frankly, disappointed us. What the initial response from the Bureau of the Census was is that the addresses that we submitted and the additional addresses that we submitted, they knew about. They simply had placed them in the wrong block. Of course, this doesn't make any sense to us because we didn't have any blocks in which there was an overcount, in which there were addresses that were above and beyond what we were able to recognize. So we've asked them then for supporting data to assess whether that's accurate or not. That is the address list that they use so that we can compare it to the address list that we have. It's just another step in the process that gets us to the final point. Unfortunately, again, they refused to submit informally the address list citing privacy matters. We do not believe that the information that we've requested is covered by the privacy provisions of the Census Act, so we have formally requested a FOIA request under the Freedom of Information, and we've gotten an initial response from that. And so we're going through those steps to try to secure the data, including potential appeals within that process and the possibility of litigation under not just the Census Act, but also under the Freedom of Information Act. As I mentioned, though, this is...
If we prevail and if we litigate and win, can we recover attorney's fees by a statute?
Not under the Census Act, but under FOIA there is a provision for that. So it would be limited to those matters that we litigated under FOIA. I believe that's correct. I'll double check on that and get back to you, Judge.
All right, sir.
So there's also, though, a non-litigation strategy that we're still pressing the census on. And part of that strategy is providing them data, but also providing them with information that lets them know that we're serious about this. And in that regard, Mr. Rios, who unfortunately wasn't able to be here, has been organizing a comprehensive meeting in Washington, D.C. with the Bureau of the Census to press these claims in person. And what we'd like to do is provide a comprehensive presentation that includes people from the congressional delegation that represent Hidalgo County, the expert that we've employed who verified that the methodology that we're using is consistent with the methodologies that were used by the Bureau of the Census in statistical completion of the census. But a big and key component of that presentation, it seems to us, that is important for the Bureau of the Census people to understand is how committed and how important an accurate census is to the local community. And so we're asking for members of the Commissioner's Court and the county judge to consider the possibility of traveling with us to Washington, D.C. when this meeting is finally organized.
Give us enough notice, and I'm sure, we'll make every effort to go.
At this point, Judge, we're looking at the 3rd or 4th week of April. As soon as that gets firmed up, we will let the county know, and so that you can discuss among yourselves and with us who would like to participate. And what I'd like to do once that is decided, is I'd like to come back down to Hidalgo County, have a meeting individually with each member of the court that anticipates going with us so that we can prepare for the presentation and so that I can bring you up to speed on the detail of the issues that are involved. When I make a presentation like this, it's very general, it's very generic for a number of reasons, including we want to be sure that attorney-client privilege is preserved and that attorney work product is preserved. But at the point where we've decided this is the date of the trip and these are the individuals from Hidalgo County that are joining us, we'd like to sit down with each one separately and go over what the presentation would consist of and prepare for that meeting.
All right.
So that's what I have for today's presentation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next item, 6H.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. We're going to take a no action on this. The auditor is still reviewing the reimbursement request.
Item 7.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. There's no action at this time, 7A, 1 and 2. 7B, there is no update for all three items. 7C, Judge, Commissioners, I'm asking authority to sign off on documents while Mr. Peña recovers. And this would be specific to any issues pertaining to right-of-way under Mr. Peña's current projects.
You need action for that?
Yes, sir.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item D, I'm asking the court to accept the settlement check in the amount of $61.33. This is from Dairyland Insurance Company. This will settle one of our property damage claims.
Move for approval. Those in favor indicate by saying aye. 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 Motion carries.
Item E, I've talked to Mr. Ramirez, and I am asking approval for the court to approve his attendance at the TAGITM conference at the island. That would be April 22nd through the 25th.
Move for approval. Second. Those in favor indicate by saying aye. 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 Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, item 8, our constable, precinct 4.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Discussion, consideration, and approval to appoint Oraldo Sanchez as a deputy constable in accordance with Texas Local Government Code, Section 86011.
Move for approval. Second. Those in favor indicate by saying aye. 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 Motion carries.
Thank you.
How many deputy constables are in your precinct, Mr. Guerra?
I believe I have 14, sir.
14. Thank you. Item 9, HR.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Sylvia Rio with Human Resources. Our item this morning with Mr. Olivares, Health and Human Services, approval to create the following regular full-time position, which is a Public Health Technician 2, slot 53, at a salary of $43,000.
Judge?
Yes, sir.
There's no funding in place for this particular item.
Is there any funding left?
Yes, sir. What we've done, that's correct, sir, because we've worked with Budget Office and reviewed everything with them. They are, if this is approved today, they will look at it from contingency fund or through other sources to fund this particular position. I came last year during the budget process and came forward, and it was asked and directed by the court to come back in the spring on this.
And Judge, Commissioners, again, I will make the statement, I've made it before in the past. It's been my position that I will not put the cart before the horse. It would be presumptuous on my part or on our part at the office to look for funding prior to court action.
Right.
And so if the court does act on it, then we entail go and do what we need to do to.
So all I have to do is approve it subject to funding?
Yes, sir.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. This is going to be a permanent position or a grant type of
It's a
position?
permanent position, Judge.
Okay. Thank you. That included 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Item 10, we've done. Item 11.
Judge, under, excuse me, sir.
1, 2, and 3, Judge?
We have another item under HR. It wasn't placed under HR for some reason. It will go to page 5, item 19A. Judge, under this item, Precinct 2 is providing some funding to the constable in Precinct 2. They have gotten additional deputies, and they haven't gotten the appropriate clerical support. And so we're deleting in Precinct 2 a position, slot number 0023, at a budgeted salary of $39,140, and we would like to create, under Constable Precinct 2, an administrative assistant 2 at a salary of $31,045, slot 0014. So there's no additional cost to the general fund. We would transfer the money to the constable. Item 2 is approval of the interdepartment transfer, and item 3 is approval of the revised salary schedule.
Approval on 19A1, 2, and 3.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Mr.
sir.
Olivares.
Item 11.
Yes, sir.
Item 11.
Oh.
I was looking at something else. Forget your hand.
Anything on indigent healthcare?
No, sir, on indigent healthcare, so the only thing item we're looking at, sir, is to review a couple of issues. We have under indigent health itself, there's a discussion in regards to last week's action and request and regarding the plan to deal with the hospital issues and the IGT concern. I have Mr. Cruz was very instrumental, and Mr. Guerra and their budget office were very instrumental helping come up with a plan and how we're going to look at possibly solving this situation.
Judge Commissioners, I'm looking at the statutes as far as how we can go about contributing these funds to the UPL program. We're recommending that for the last fiscal year, the fact that there was no IGT transfer and there's none planned till June of this year, we're recommending that we do an emergency amendment to the budget for this current fiscal year in the amount of $2,750, $2,750,000, which is the amount that was not contributed last year. So we're recommending that we amend the budget this year to increase it to that amount. Now, for fiscal year 2011, there was $2,125,000 that were not contributed. Our recommendation would be to adopt a 2014, when we go for the 2014 budget process, that we adopt a contribution of $10,125,000, which would be the $8 million that we're contributing this fiscal year, plus the 2.125 that were lapsed from 2011. I think that would be the method that we're recommending that we proceed with this matter as far as on catching up with our contributions for the UPL program. That way we can start talking with or that way we can start putting items on the agenda in regards to this, if this is something that the court wishes for us to move in this direction. This is our recommendation as far as catching up on those contributions.
I don't believe you can adopt 2014 budget yet.
No, we will not be adopting a 2014 budget yet. During the budget process for that fiscal year, we would recommend that we include these, the 2011 amounts into that.
Wouldn't need any action today?
Today, no. We just basically want, if this is a plan that the court sees favorably, that way we can proceed to bringing the items that are needed at the time that they're needed.
I want you to look at 2012.
Yes, sir.
You got in there budgeted UPL as $8,250,000.
Correct.
And then in the last line, you want to amend the budget to increase it from $8 million. Why $8 million and not $8,250,000?
This is amending the 2013 budget, which 2013 we have $8 million budgeted for that. So what we're recommending is that we increase this year's budget, the $8 million, plus the 2.75 that was lapsed from last year that did not get contributed. That's the reason for the difference. The 8.25 is the 2012 budgeted amount.
So our UPL contribution for 2013 is $8 million?
$8 million, yes, sir. We reduced it by
$8,250,000.
No, we reduced it another $250,000.
Okay, next year we make it 7 or something?
No, sir. No, sir, because then we need to look at the process. One of the legal concerns that came up was making sure that we work closely for next year and plan it out right so we don't get into any future problems.
We're not coming up with any new dollars or any more dollars.
No,
We're just
no, sir, these are not
moving it
any
from
new
this
dollars.
year.
These will be just catching up on the prior year payments that were not
And
contributed.
you've got that money set aside.
The 2011 is set aside in our fund balance. The 2012 will be rolling over, will be lapsing into our fund balance at the close. Once the auditor presents the CAFR, that will be presented in the fund balance for that, for the end of 2012 as well. So these are monies that have been set aside in the fund balance All we're doing is dedicating it now for this purpose.
Sergio, I don't think those monies were set aside, but they're inside fund balance right now. those
They're
two
inside,
numbers.
yes.
Right.
So
But like we discussed last week, in order to tap into those, you're going to have to go through a process, right?
Correct. And
Okay.
these are the two processes that we're recommending that we go through.
Why don't we pay them when they're due?
Excuse me?
Why do we not pay them when they're due? I mean, why do we have to involve ourselves in these?
Again, what happened on the 2011 fiscal year, there was some capitation that resulted that we could not contribute any additional funds because the state as a whole had already reached their limit. So we were not able to contribute those funds. 2012, again, now with the conversion from the UPL to the 1115 waiver, the drawdown schedule has been delayed, and now the drawdowns for September through December of last fiscal year are not being done probably until June or July of this fiscal year. Those dates have still not been set. That's when they're estimated contemplated to be done, so that's the reason why we were not able to do those contributions at that time.
Because the county contributes based on the request from the state judge, and we haven't received a request
at this time.
We just don't contribute them. They asked us to contribute them.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yes, also, Judge, I just wanted, Mr. Rivera's not here, but Mr. Rivera had requested from me to look into the amounts that were contributed when the UPL first was established. We did look, and we saw that there was some amendment to the budget in 2006. There was an additional contribution made for the UPL program. However, that additional funds that were contributed in 2006 were reduced in 2007 and 2008 fiscal years. So there was no additional funds or any funds lost to the UPL program during those fiscal years. Those were reduced in the ensuing fiscal years. So we just had an advance during 2006, and we reduced our contributions in 2007 and 2008. So there was no loss of any county funds or any additional county funds that were put into this program.
There's no action 11A, right?
Yeah, no action needed.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
What about B? Is there action on B?
No action on B.
All right.
Judge, if I have your permission, I'll continue. Item C is approval to add account number 8578-68885 to SBC Long Distance, AKA AT&T Contract DIR Texas ANNG CTSA 005. This is to catch up with our phone.
Those in favor indicate by
situation.
saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 12 is to approve process the payment for claim for telephone service South SBC Long Distance Vendor 278378 for Wesco Clinic, account number 8578-68885 in the court in the amount of $75.26, PO number 688502.
Move for approval.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
This next item, sir, is pursuant to Chapter 121, Local Public Health Recognition Act, Section 121.006, requesting approval of the sliding fee schedule effective April 1st, 2013. The sliding fee schedule has been revised based on the federal poverty level that becomes effective April 1st, 2013. This is an annual action we're coming based on the federal guidelines on Medicaid, Medicare, that this is what the Medicaid sliding fees would be based on. So this is a federal action, but we just got to recognize it at the court.
Move for approval.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you very much, Judge, Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. Item 12.
Item 12, Judge, Commissioners, I'll have Mr. Montoya provide a written report to the court on the irrigation water allotment in the interest of time, if that's okay with the court. Thank you.
Good morning. Item 13A, I'm requesting authorization and approval to change the wireless service plans for the Elections Department. It's just a plan change as listed on the table below. 13A.
All right.
Move for approval.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And request approval on 13B as listed. This is for the Fire Marshal's Office.
Move for approval.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. Have a good morning.
Item 14, Urban County. Anybody here from Urban County? All right, let's move on to item 15, elections.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Yvonne Ramon, Elections Department. Item 15A is having to do with the Hidalgo County Vote Center Committee. I have no updates at this moment, but I do want to let the court know, and I will be letting you know and your chief deputies know, that Lubbock County did respond, and they did confirm for the workshop to take place on Wednesday, April 17th at 10 a.m. I did meet with Mr. Guerra, and I am working at finding the location for the workshop, so I will be advising everyone as soon as I have that set. So it will be on Wednesday, April 17th, for the workshop to take place. I have asked Ms. Dorothy Kennedy, the elections administrator, to send me a list of which commissioners will be attending and also the members from her staff. So I will be keeping you abreast of that.
And you're going to be inviting the new committee that...
Yes, sir. The committee will meet at Brayfogle Pavilion the evening before, and the committee that is coming from Lubbock County will address the committee the evening before at 5:30, and then we will have the workshop for the court on the following day, and they will be attending both.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Item 15B is discussion and approval.
No action on 8?
I'm sorry?
No action on 15A?
There is no action. It was just an update.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. 15B, discussion and approval of recommended changes to county election precinct boundaries under Article 3, Section 28 of the Texas Constitution and described in Texas Election Code 42.032 due to the redistricting by the city of Weslaco of their single-member districts.
That same thing we talked about, right? Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And just to let the court know that we did go to the Weslaco City Commission meeting. We did present the changes, and they did approve. We had good discussion.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Item 15C is requesting approval for the following claim invoices with authority for the county treasurer to issue payment check after review, audit, and processing procedures are completed by the county auditor. And I've got Melanie Esparza to describe these.
It's just the invoice date for January 23rd of 2013 with Verizon in the amount of $145.28. And there was another one for February 23rd, 2013 with Verizon for $145.28 as well.
Move for approval.
Need a second? Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, our Head Start program. Good morning, Ms. Flores.
Good morning. The first item, we have the recognition of our Blue Ribbon Centers. The centers are identified during the self-assessment process, and all centers are visited, and we have 11 centers that are Blue Ribbon. And that means that they have maximized all their resources, and they're doing an outstanding job with meeting all 1,800 standards in Head Start. The first center is Western Road, and the center manager is Petra Martinez. Second center is Monte Alto, and the center manager is Alicia Becerra. Third center is Las Milpas 1. The center manager is Virginia Martinez. The fourth center is Donna 1, and it's Erlinda Nájera, the center manager. Then we have Sullivan, and the center manager is Mirta Trigo. McAllen 6, the center manager is Leticia Rodriguez. Mercedes 2, and the center manager is Olga Rubio. San Juan 1, center manager is Veronica Garcia. Las Milpas 2, the center manager is Veronica Zamora. McAllen 5, the center manager is Ludivina Almaguer. And then the 11th center is Donna 2, and the center manager is Ninfa Munguia. We want to congratulate those centers and the staff for doing an outstanding job. But as far as I'm concerned, all of our centers are doing a great job. It doesn't require action, it's just recognition. Item B is a review and approval of the program plan to address reduction in funding. The sequestration has affected us to the tune of 5% of our budget. So we had to reduce our funding, our budget for 2013 by $1,273,095. In the process of doing the plan or putting the plan together, we had staff involved, but it did mean the cutting of positions. The positions that were removed from our budget are 19, and there were positions that were vacant, so we did not terminate anyone. We tried, our number one goal was not to eliminate any children from the program. That was one action that we could have taken, but we chose to maintain all the number of children that we have in the program. The 19 positions that we are proposing to not fund for 2013, or the remainder of 2013, are 1 public information coordinator, 1 human resource director, 1 fiscal officer, 1 center manager, 2 education coordinators, along with 2 custodians, 3 disability classroom assistants, 2 bus drivers, 2 bus classroom aides, 1 craftsman, and 3 substitutes. There were other cuts in the budget, but the bulk of the money that was reduced came from personnel positions. We were trying to maintain, of course, the classroom staff and the quality of services to our program. This plan has been put together, the Policy Council has approved it, and it's waiting to be submitted upon request from the Office of Head Start. At this time, we're asking for your approval, and if you have any questions regarding our plan.
So. Second. Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
The item C is a notification from the Office of Head Start. It doesn't require action, just to point out the fact that they did talk about we had the option to reduce staff and the option to reduce positions, children's slots, but we did not pursue that particular action. That's for your information. Item D is discussion and approval of the Head Start program self-assessment results. This is a yearly activity required by regulation, and as I mentioned, the self-assessment is how we identified our top-performing centers. And so at this point, we're asking for your approval. During the self-assessment, it is done by our staff, and no findings were identified of non-compliances, and at this point, we're asking for approval. It does require that you approve this action.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item letter E is discussion and approval to contract with N.A. Wald to assist with the development of the strategic plan for the Hidalgo County Head Start program. And Ms. A. Wald has helped us in the past. She is a consultant with a lot of expertise in Head Start. She will be working 19 days for $6,650 to help us with developing our strategic plan and involving our staff in the process.
Has the contract been reviewed by legal counsel?
Has a what?
Has the contract had a legal review?
Mr. Garcia, we've had the same contract in the past, and I believe that has been reviewed in the past, but we can send it on and be contingent upon legal counsel reviewing it. Okay?
All right. Go ahead.
Reviewed by legal counsel. He's telling me that it has. Yes. Okay.
It had been reviewed?
Not currently, it has not been. But they have another lawyer, don't you?
Yes, but we can go ahead and send it to Steve and have him review.
All right.
Well, subject to
legal review.
So move on it.
Pardon?
All right.
check.
After review.
Subject to legal review.
Subject to review.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The next item is another item on contract services, and this is discussion approval on request to enter, with the University of Texas for Pan American for the preparation of the triennial comprehensive community assessment. This is a project, and it's done during March, April, and May, and June, and delivered to us about August, and it's an amount of $15,000. That is a contract for the whole community assessment. This is a requirement by our program, and the Pan American University has done this in the past, and they are very comprehensive in their process. They include surveys as well as town meetings, and the data is current data when it comes to the demographics of the county.
I have the same question on that one.
Yes, it has been, but we'll go ahead and submit it again for review. It's the same contract in the past.
Subject to legal.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The last item is discussion approval on a request to enter into a non-standard service agreement between the Hidalgo County Head Start Program and Agua Special Utility District, a sole provider, in the amount of $9,869.48 to install pipes, lines, meters, and valves for water service at the relocated Palmview 1 Head Start Center. This has been reviewed. It started out at being about $29,000, and then it went down to 17, and, through the help of our consultant, we're at $9,869.48. This is a one-time expense, but it is under a non-standard service contract.
So moved.
Judge.
Same stipulation.
What we recommend on that item is that the contract be revised to include the commitment of current revenue only clause. Doesn't contain that clause.
That is fine, except we don't have but a one-time fee. We will work with legal counsel to add that.
I don't think we need to add that.
We don't need to add it?
Because it's in their budget already, so it's already a commitment of current revenue. All right, we have a motion and a second. Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
All right, okay, Diana, you're up. We can go back to item 14.
Thank you. Item 14, Judge.
Item 14.
Thank you, my apologies. The first item is on behalf of the City of
Oh,
Penitas.
just a minute, Diana, we're going to take a short recess.
Okay.
Make a quick call.
On behalf of the City of Penitas, requesting the approval of the best and final negotiated contract for professional engineering services. Javier Hinojosa Engineering is the engineering firm in the amount of $3,790 for a Park Avenue project.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The second item is a budget and program amendment for the City of Progreso. Using its 2012 funds, the amendment will decrease the street improvements activity by $14,345 and create a parks activity. This is to include the purchase and installation of area lighting along the walking trail and all around the park.
So moved.
Move approve.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C is a request also on behalf of the City of Progreso, requesting the approval and award of best and final negotiating contract with Robert Kistner Consultants in the amount of $11,292.60.
Move for
This-
approval.
Check.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The City of Elsa is requesting the authorization to cancel an existing contract with J.E. Science and Associates in the amount of $10,000. The funding provided on behalf of the Urban County Program was $7,500. This project did not come to fruition, and therefore we requested that the city pay back this money, and they have done so.
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item E is also related to the City of Elsa, requesting the authorization to cancel an existing contract with J.E. Science in the amount of $24,728.30. This is for a 2005 water and sewer improvement project. The city received a grant from the Texas Water Development Board, and they no longer needed the services. They have paid back the funds that were paid on behalf of the Urban County Program.
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 17, right-of-way.
Judge, Commissioners, item 17, and that's what I just handed you, Commissioner Palacios, is consideration of the use of eminent domain to condemn property on the following parcels for FM 681/FM 2221 road project. This is a text.csj 066901052 parcel number 74. It is in precinct 3. and a description of the parcel is attached as Exhibit A. Commissioner, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh.
Go ahead.
A motion.
Yes.
I move that the Hidalgo County authorize the use of the power of the eminent domain to acquire parcel number 74 for the expansion of FM 681, FM 2221 road project, text dot CSJ number 0669-01-052, as more particularly described in the attached Exhibit A. In the agenda packet, and the record vote shall apply to all parcels identified in the motion to be condemned, and in the minutes of Hidalgo County shall reflect that the record vote on the motion shall apply to all parcels.
Second, can you read the motion?
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Is there a requirement?
Record vote, it should be by each person with their name stated.
All right, well, it's unanimous by the members present.
Can you announce the members present? So we can-
Yes, Commissioner Cuellar, Precinct 1, Palacios, Precinct 2, and myself. All voted in favor. All right, move on to item 18.
Judge, I'm requesting approval to submit the pro rata tobacco settlement distribution county expenditure statement for 2013 to the Department of State Health Services, and also request the authorization for the county judge to execute the report.
Any concerns with that?
Not at all.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Morning, Judge Commissioners. Here is Department of Budget Management. Item 21A1 is approval to deobligate the cash match for the grant funds as listed on the agenda and appropriate those funds into the countywide administrative contingency fund 1100.
Which one?
21A1.
What are we doing? We're taking-
deobligating, these are the matching funds for these grants. We're deobligating them for the last fiscal year and putting them into
Why,
contingency.
the grants are no longer in place? Or
They will roll over. We'll go back and these will be reappropriated this
and
fiscal
why are
year.
you putting them in the countywide administration?
We need to put them into any account, that way we can have.
Why
the
don't you
accounts.
set them aside for the courthouse
Actually,
construction plan?
they're going to be reappropriated this fiscal year for the continuation of those same grants. So we just need to set them aside in an account and then reappropriate these for this fiscal year.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners.
Item 22, purchasing.
Yes. Martha Salazar for Purchasing Department. Nothing to report or action to be taken on 22A1, 2, A, B, and C respectively. And item 3, as requested by the Honorable Israel Ramon, we're asking for the payment to ASG for invoices October through December of 2012 and January through March of 2013. The agreement lapsed in September. They had gone month to month on an existing agreement, and that was exhausted. And so they have to enter into a new agreement, and these are lapsed invoices.
Move for approval.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 22B1, this is requesting exemption from Texas Local Government Code 262-024A for a professional service.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
B is presentation of the scoring grids for the purposes of ranking of Leonel Garza Jr. and Associates at 96, Professional Appraisal Services Incorporated in 92, and HLH Appraisal Services at 91. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of their scores?
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C is authority for purchasing to negotiate a final engineering, no, this is professional services for appraisals with the number one ranked firm.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C1, this is acceptance and approval for the best value proposal from a job order contractor and Hunt in the amount of $63,275.22 for the installation of lights to South Tower Park facility in Precinct 2.
Move to approve.
Check.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item D1, Precinct 3, acceptance and approval to execute an on-call professional engineering services agreement, LNG Engineering Laboratories, for construction materials testing for all projects.
Move to approve.
Marty, have you had the legal review on that and?
Yes,
addressed
there
the
was
concern?
legal review, and the inclusion of the current revenues commitment has already been uploaded, and a copy provided to your staff.
We have a motion and a second. Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B is acceptance and approval of work authorization 1, estimated amount $15,734.12 for the construction materials testing with LNG.
Move to approve.
Check.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item E1, Precinct 4, requesting exemption 262-024A4, a professional service.
Move to approve.
Check.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
We're presenting the grid for the purposes of ranking of the 3 firms graded and evaluated. This is Lefevre Environmental and Management Consultants at 99, Quintanilla Headley and Associates at 98, and Sames Incorporated, at 97. Do you wish to rank them in the order of their scores?
Move to approve.
Check.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C is authority for purchasing to negotiate with the number 1 ranked firm for the provision of those services.
Thank you.
Move to approve.
Check.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item F1, elections. This is requesting exemption under 262-024A for a professional service. And that's for legal services.
So,
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B would be acceptance and approval of the letter of engagement with the Honorable Rolando L. Rios to provide services regarding the Department of Justice pre-clearance 2013 voting precinct changes.
Move to approve.
There's no requisition yet, Marty? You will get one?
No,
Check.
sir, because there was some discussions with the elections and the court as to whether they would proceed with this. And as I stated in my response, and Ms. Yvonne is aware, as soon as this is approved, she will submit her requisition.
Okay, thank you.
And I believe the total sum is 1,500?
It's either 1,500 or 2,000, I'm not sure. I think it's no more than 2,000.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item G, I'm going to let Mr. Oscar Garza from my office present that for you, as it was his presentation last week that led to the options that are here before you.
Good morning, Commissioner, Judge. Item G1 is A, approval to add the exterior modifications as required to comply with, including but not limited to the City of Edinburgh's beautification codes, fire marshal and ADA requirements, plus any other appurtenances to current contractor CAS companies LP awarded vendor through TIPS TAPS contract 100-12413 through one of the following options. A, increase existing PO number 682714 in the amount of $464,681.57, which includes a quantitative adjustment of $94,819.34 from original purchase order 682714.
That's what you recommend.
And that's our recommendation, is to increase the existing PO.
now, what project are we specifically?
I'm sorry?
Modular.
For the modular project,
Is
Commissioner.
this part of the money we talked last week?
I'm sorry?
Is this part of the money that we talked last week?
Yes, sir, this is pursuant to the presentation we discussed last week.
Marty, Oscar, do you have a guesstimate as to how much money has been spent in those projects?
We did present that to you last week, Commissioner, and I.
And what was it?
The total on the aggregate,
I thought it was approximately 2.7, including this last.
2.7, that's inclusive of this additions.
And that includes this addition, these modifications?
Yes, sir. That would be,
Is this gonna stop? I mean, is
yes,
that-
sir. This
is
this will conclude the project, yes, sir.
This would be the final phase.
So we went from $1 million to 2.7.
Well, 2 million.
No,
It was 2 million to
It was 2 million, it was slightly over
2.2.
$2 million
Right.
for the project, and so
And now
we're,
we're trying to comply with the city of
Originally-
Edinburgh.
Originally, the court had been led to believe that it would cost around $1 million to set up the module.
I think it was 2 million,
if-
Commissioner.
Commissioner,
may-
if I may. You're correct, Commissioner, $1 million for the modulars.
Right.
And then the site preparation work was an additional
Right.
million and slightly over.
For installing the
For
thing.
all the electrical, the plumbing, all the site preparation work that needed to be done. So the project was just slightly over $2.1 million. This additional cost is so that we may comply with all the code ordinances with the city of Edinburgh.
And the ADA and.
And the
State, or some of the state.
And the fire marshals.
That had not been accounted for previously.
No, Commissioner, I'll be honest, no, we did not anticipate this.
Okay. Well, it frankly probably should have been anticipated, ADA.
Well, no, I'm talking about I'm talking about 95% of this cost is all the code and the beautification
Right.
and the broad with the city of Edinburgh.
And Judge, just to clarify even further, these were accounted for, but they didn't meet after inspection what they want. It's more like an upgrade to those bare essentials.
Right. Okay.
So they're improvements to what we're telling you is on the agenda.
All right. Need a motion to approve item G1A.
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay. No action on item B and on the lowercase b. And 1B is also requesting authorization and approval for CAS companies to utilize the adjustment allowance of $45,000 in PO 682714 for the interior modifications to the courtroom modulars in the amount of $43,290.17.
Move for approval.
Has this been reviewed by Facilities and Management, this request?
I'm sorry, sir?
Has this information been reviewed by Facilities Management?
Well, yes, it has, he's aware of the changes, yes, sir, of the modifications that need to go into the building. However, again, these funds could not be used because they were earmarked for the on-site civil improvements, and we just want to make clarification to the courts. They will be utilized for the modifications inside the modulars now.
Thank you.
Have a motion, need a second?
Check.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries, item approved. Thank you, sir. Item H, constables.
Yes. Acceptance and approval to award the best valued proposal from Herrera and Hunt for in the amount of $114,381.59 for the Constable Precinct 1 project. And that's concrete work and water line improvements.
That was already part of the cost of the.
Yes, sir. That was part of what we had started, and then I had to rescind the original, but
for
this will
approval.
take care of it.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
For the Sheriff's Office, we're requesting exemption under 262-024A, a professional service. This is for the roof repair project.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
I'm sorry, this is not for that yet. This is authority to enter it and negotiate the final negotiated professional veterinary services contract with 4 Paws. This is for their canine dogs that need
Right.
care.
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is another exemption from 262-024A4, and that is a professional service.
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
We're presenting you the scoring grid of those engineering firms that were nominated, graded, and scored through the Sheriff's Office in connection with the roof repairs. They are ERO at 91, Sames Engineering at 84, and Chanine Engineering at 97. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of their scores?
Move for approval.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye, motion carries.
Authority for the purchasing department to negotiate with the number one ranked firm for the provision of professional engineering services in connection with the roof repairs.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye, motion carries.
That is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Need a motion to proceed to executive
Move for
session
approval.
pursuant to 551-071 and 072 of Texas Government Code. Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We're going to be in executive session.
Twenty-four B, pending potential, no action. Item 24C, claim of Hector G. Rodriguez, Judge Commissioners. I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $1,600.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item 24D, claim of Alfredo Villanueva, Judge Commissioners. I would like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $3,125.
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 24E, claim of Hidalgo County versus Juan J. Prado and Erasmo S. Luna. Judge Commissioners, for disclosure purposes, we are assigning this to Ms. Josie Ramirez. Item 24F, claim of Feliciano Ramos. Judge Commissioners, I would ask for a motion in compromise settlement release and with respect to an indemnity agreement between Hidalgo County and the claim of Feliciano Ramos for a total amount of $7,250.
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item G, potential litigation, electric services provider, Reliant Sales Agreement. Judge Commissioners, I would defer back to agenda item 7A1 and 2. Item 7A1, I'm requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code, section 262024A.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 7A2, I'm requesting the engagement of the firm of Andy Taylor for provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation and authority to submit a letter of engagement.
But
Yes, sir.
we had an issue last time in reference to an engagement with the same law firm regarding travel expenses. Are you going to negotiate the?
The letter of engagement will be clear.
All right, thank you.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item H, Judge Commissioners, is civil number 7.08 CV 217 USA versus 5.77 acres of land, more or less, situated in Hidalgo County, state of Texas, and Daniel E. Arnold et al. Judge Commissioners, I would ask for a motion to give our county judge authority to sign a waiver and disclosure form. Disclaimer form as it pertains to the aforementioned reference.
Move for approval.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners.
Need a motion to adjourn?
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you, gentlemen.